Good morning and welcome to another interesting edition of Plus Sports on Plus TV Africa. My name is Wale Agbede, bringing the show to you again live from our studios. Today we're going to touch on different topics ranging from football on the domestic scene to what's happening at Flushing Meadows with Serena, Rafael Nadal, of course, getting victories in the first round, and the defending champion in the WTA sector, Emma Raducanu, crashing out at the first time of asking. But first of all, let's start off from the domestic front where outgoing first vice president of the Nigeria Football Federation, Barrister Seyi Akinwunmi, on Tuesday in Abuja, promised to revive Nigeria football with his 4-point agenda if he is elected to replace Amaju Pinnick as president of the NFF. Speaking while declaring his intention to contest election into the executive committee of the Nigeria Football Federation as president on the 30th of September in Benin City, Akinwunmi expressed optimism that he will be sworn in as the next president of the NFF come September 30. The presidential hopeful also promised to deliver a world-class system of youth development, refereeing, coaching and scouting if elected as the next president of the NFF. Head coach Bankole Oluwokere has invited 35 players to camp as the Under-17 women's national team, the Flamingos, commence preparations for the 7th FIFA Under-17 Women's World Cup taking place in India in the month of October. Team captain Alvin Dazosu, first choice goalkeeper Faith Omilana, regular defenders Miracle Usani, Blessing Sunday, Comfort Folorusho and Tuminino additional midfielders Blessing Emmanuel and Taiwa Folabi and forwards Okweyemi Ajakai and Aminat Bello amongst those told to report at the Serob Legacy Hotel Woye in Abuja on Tuesday the 30th of August 2022 with their training kits, medical certificate of fitness and international passport. The Flamingos conquered the challenges of the Democratic Republic of Congo, Egypt and Ethiopia to qualify for this year's FIFA Under-17 Women's World Cup within 5 of their 6 matches in the process. The 7th FIFA Under-17 Women's World Cup finals will be staged in India from the 11th to the 30th of October 2022. All right, talking about women who are doing great things now, time for us to move on to tennis, where Serena Williams signaled she is not quite ready for retirement, advancing to the second round of the US Open on Monday with a scrappy 6-3, 6-3 win over Danka Kovinic. Williams ensured that the celebrations will continue at least for a few more days at the Grand Slam, as the Grand Slam set an all-time night session attendance record on Monday night with 29,402 people flocking to the sprawling site to see the 23-time majors winner scrap her way past Montenegro's Danka Kovinic. Waiting in the wings for her is Estonian second seed Anett Kontaveit, who breezed past Jacqueline Christian 6-3, 6-love. The match could be the final singles outing for American Williams, and Kontaveit promised to give her the best against the greatest player of all time. Kontaveit has failed to reach the second week of 3 Grand Slams so far this year, as she exited the Australian Open and Wimbledon in the second round and fell in the first round at Roland Garros. All right, yes, timed the GOAT, as you heard from the commentator right there at Flushing Meadows, Serena Williams. To discuss Serena and everything happening at the US Open, I have a tennis expert, one of the very best in Nigeria, Biola Solizchukou, joining us live from Lagos to discuss the US Open this morning. Biola, good morning. How are you doing?
I'm fine, Wale. Good to be on the show.
Thank you very much for joining us. Let's start off with Serena Williams. Obviously, the biggest topic at Flushing Meadows this year she hasn't officially said it's going to be her last tournament, but definitely it'll be her last Grand Slam competition. We hope she wins, but she has started on a very, very good note with that victory in the first round.
Yes, she did start well. Of course, we need to consider who our opponent was as well. I think going into the draw, I kind of knew Serena would be able to pull this off because Danka Kovinic hadn't won her last 5 matches, wasn't in the best of form. But then Serena definitely showed a lot of flashes of brilliance. And even though she's almost 41 years old, she's still playing, relatively well. Yeah, so that was a good match. it is amazing that she also had the crowd cheering her on every point she won. So that definitely drove her as well. So yeah, good first round match. Good way to start for Serena Williams.
All right, so you just touched on the form and 80th seed Danka Kovinic as being, maybe a nice enough opponent to start. Next up is second seed Anna Kontaveit. Do you reckon that, that might be a banana peel for Serena to pass through?
Yes. But at the same time, Anna Kontaveit has not been at her very best in the last 2-3 months, which is weird because she's second seed and world number 2. But yeah, this is definitely a dangerous one for Serena Williams and might just be her last match at the Grand Slam. Knowing how the crowd cheered her on during her first round match against Kovinic, I believe it will be the same against Anna Kontaveit, and it might be just a little intimidating for Kontaveit. And that could, be a major talking point of the match after it's played, that is. So I think it's a dangerous one for Serena Williams. To be honest, I'll say it's for her to win, she has a 30% chance. And if she does pull it off, it will be amazing, to be honest.
All right, so I am of the opinion, because I saw the Serena game, and, I saw the tributes, of course, that were reeled out at the end. They did bring, what's her name again, Billie Jean King. There was Oprah also, who had a clip that was played. I think that the emotions, like you said, the crowd, were cheering every point that she won.
Yeah.
There's a lot of noise. There's a lot of off-the-court conversations going on with Serena's final U.S. Open tournament. Do you think maybe she might have delayed her? Because, of course, she's gone in for Margaret Court's 24 Grand Slam titles. Don't you think that maybe all of these, side attractions might just even make it worse for her in trying to win the Grand Slam again?
To be honest, I don't think what Serena Williams is trying to do here is win 24. I don't think that's what she's trying to do.
But of course, she would like to win 24.
And it is very unlikely, if you look at the draw and, the current state of women's tennis, it is very unlikely for her to win the 24. If she does, yeah, it will be a bonus. But I don't think that any side attractions and things that are happening off court should affect her. She just wants to enjoy every moment. And if she wins, she wins. If she loses, she loses. So, like you mentioned, the crowd cheering her on was, definitely important to her winning against Kovinic. Might just drive her in that light.
All right, Biola, quickly before I let you go, I can hear that, some people there are already needing your attention. Biola, defending champion Emma Raducanu. No defending champion has crashed out in the first round since Angelique Kerber in 2017. She has crashed out in the first round. She says it's an opportunity for a clean slate, but, it's dashed hopes for Raducanu.
Who is playing in her 63rd consecutive Grand Slam, who is known to cause upsets. She hasn't really found her feet really since winning the US Open last year. She's really struggled because she's still relatively new to the tour. So she's really going to have to start from scratch again, like she mentioned. While it might be, disappointing to the world because defending champion crashed out, I think it's still okay for someone who, isn't used to the WTA tour yet. She'll be fine. I think Emma Raducanu will be fine.
All right, thank you very much, Biola, for joining us. The U.S. Open, as it gets into the business side of the competition, we hope to have you more on Plus Sports right here on Plus TV Africa.
Thank you very much for having me, Wally.
All right, thank you very much. Still sticking with the U.S. Open, Emma Raducanu's U.S. Open title defense, like we just talked about, ended at the first hurdle with a nightmare straight set loss to Frances Alice Cornet at Flushing Meadows in New York. Raducanu did not drop a set in 10 matches last year, but she was error-prone on a windy New York evening and fell to a 6-3, 6-3 defeat. The French woman, playing in a record 63rd Grand Slam, has been enjoying one of the best seasons of her career with a long-awaited first major quarterfinal in Australia before she ended Iggy Swiatek's 37-match unbeaten run at Wimbledon. Finally, on the US Open, Rafael Nadal lost his opening set at the US Open for the first time in his career, but was buoyed by his recovery to beat Rinky Hijikata. Nadal is short on matches after suffering an abdominal tear at Wimbledon. An Australian wildcard Hijikata seized this opportunity on Otto Ashe with a brilliant first set. But Nadal, who is yet to lose a Grand Slam match this year, hit back straight away and clinched a 4-6, 6-2, 6-3, 6-3 victory to set up a second-round clash with fellow veteran Fabio Fognini. All right, moving on to football now. Thomas Tuchel criticized his Chelsea players for not being tough enough and their soft defending after losing 2-1 at Southampton. Chelsea slumped to their second defeat of the season when Romeo Lavia and Adam Armstrong delivered a stunning first-half turnaround following Raheem Sterling's opener. The Blues have performed inconsistently across their opening 5 games, taking only 7 points, which leaves them in 8th and languishing off the top 4 pace. Tuchel did not hold back with his assessment of their latest setback on the road. Let's take a listen to what Tuchel had to say after the game. All right, Thomas Tuchel right there, going in on his players after the loss to Southampton at the St. Mary's last night. Finally, Spain midfielder Fabian Ruiz has joined French champions Paris Saint-Germain on a 5-year deal from Napoli, the Ligue 1 club announced yesterday. Fabian is the 5th signing of the summer by PSG and will further strengthen their midfield following the arrivals of Portugal duo Vitinha and Renato Sanchez. The 26-year-old spent 4 seasons with Napoli and won the Italian Cup in 2020. He is a former European under-21 champion with Spain and has 15 international caps. The ex-Real Betis player was part of the Spain squad that reached the semi-finals of the Euro 2020. That's the whole of the package on today's edition of Plus Sports right here on Plus TV Africa. The show has been brought to you live from our studios this beautiful Wednesday morning. My name is Olawale Agbede. Until next time, when I'm back right here on your screens, don't forget to continue to enjoy quality programming right here on Plus TV Africa. You can watch our old episodes of our shows on YouTube at Plus TV Africa and at Plus TV Africa Lifestyle. You can also follow us on social media on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Plus TV Africa. Good morning.